What do we mean by the culture of a place? The dictionary defines it as an expression of the intellectual achievements of people of a land. Here in Chhattisgarh, the culture is reflected in its arts, crafts, festivals and celebrations that have been passed down over centuries. Today we are at a confluence of three rivers, Mahanadi, Peri and Sondur, at this beautiful place called Rajim, which is also known as the Prayag of Chhattisgarh. This place is an ancient center of pilgrimage.
Rajim has been at the center of things from a time when this land was known as Mahakaushal. It is said that Lord Ram spent a part of his Vanvas at Rajim. And a pilgrimage of the Puri Jagannath temple of Orissa is incomplete without a holy dip at the 5th Kumbh, which is why every year from February to March, sadhus, scholars and common folk all flock to the most sacred spot in Chhattisgarh, to the Rajim Kumbh. Religion is the focal point in Rajim, which was known in ancient times as Padma Kshetra, or the place where a petal from Lord Vishnu's lotus landed.
A kumbh is not a kumbh without the presence of these Naga sadhus. I mean, they are the highlight of any kumbh mela in India. Well, I am trailing the procession all the way down to the Rajim Mela. So come along.
The Naga sadhus are devotees of Shiva, the ascetic god, and distinctly sport dreadlocks and carry a single staff. These wandering ascetics are also known for their martial skills, as some sects are considered well versed in yoga and wrestling.
You won't believe what I just saw. Come here. The Naga sadhu actually held a man on a sword that was rested on his genitals. I don't know how they do that. Unbelievable.
It is believed that this sect of warrior ascetics was established to create a legion of religious protectors who would safeguard dharma from all social evils.
The temples of Rajim belong to different eras. Now, most temples here were built between the 8th and the 14th century AD. Here I am at the Rajiv Lochan temple. It is the most famous temple here and sits right at the center of the temple complex. Well, it was built in the 8th century AD and this temple is dedicated to Lord Vishnu.
The temple mandapa stands tall on the 12 columns with intricate carvings of Hindu gods and goddesses, including Durga and Narsimha. It is believed that the complex was built and rebuilt over the ages, and the sculptures reflect the changing influences through time. The Buddha here is said to have been added to the complex at a later date and gives strength to this theory. The story behind the name Rajiv Lochan goes that an oil seller Rajba was granted a wish by Lord Vishnu. He promised her that he would always stay at Rajim and let her name precede his, and the temple was named Rajiv Lochan, a corruption of the name Rajba. If it is a kumbh, there is a confluence of rivers, and if there are 3 rivers, there is definitely an arti, a ritual that involves a homage of fire and prayers. It is time for the evening aarti, and the resplendent flame of the diyas pay homage to the river as hundreds of bells ring and mantras are chanted.
Rajiv Rajam is not only a place of pilgrimage, it's also a place and time for festivities and fun. And not all the festivities are religious in nature. Well, look at them. I'm just going to go in and soak it all in.
The Panthi dance is performed by the members of the Satnami community in praise of Guru Ghasidas. It begins slowly, and soon to the beating of the drum and jhanj, the rhythm picks up pace and reaches a near frenzy. There is an acrobatic quality to the dance that makes it quite unique.
Mahashivratri, a very important occasion here at Rajim. Thousands of pilgrims are gathered here from all across India to participate in the much awaited holy dip in the Triveni Sangam. The people, the spiritual energy here is just so inspiring that I can't just help but want to join in. After all, what's a Prayag without a holy dip?
The loud calls of Har Har Mahadev fill the air, and yet there is a calm that settles within when the devotee takes a dip in the sacred waters and offers up prayers. Prayers that are meant to purify the body and the soul, washing away sins committed in this life. Whether you're a believer or not matters little, because like it or not, what you cannot ignore is the energy that thrums in and around Rajim, the sacred ground of Chhattisgarh.
We are still on the cultural trail of Chhattisgarh, which would be incomplete without a visit to this place, Asia's oldest university dedicated to arts. Flagged off in 1956, the Indira Kala Sangeet Vishwavidyalaya offers courses in every form and school of arts, from music and dance to painting and sculpture and everything in between. Story goes that this university is housed in an erstwhile palace of the then rulers of Khairagarh, who donated it to open a university in music and fine arts in the name of their beloved daughter Indira. Today this university is an inspiration for many artists. Great to have a university like this that nurtures talent and promotes all forms of creative art. Talent from across India gather here to awaken the artists within.
Traditional performance art comes in different forms and can be found in unexpected places. Nacha is one such. It has been an art that has connected with people of this region at the grassroots level in a simple and effective way. It has also been a part of Chhattisgarh's folk theatre for ages.
Nacha is a kind of folk theatre that is found all across the state of Chhattisgarh. This art form uses comedy and satire to spread social messages, create public awareness, and also comment on social and political issues. This art form has literally taken Chhattisgarh across the seas.
Does this artist look familiar? Well, if you are wondering where you have seen this face, think no more. He is Omkar Das Manikpuri, and you may remember him as Natha from the acclaimed Bollywood film Peeply Live.
जब भी कहीं नाच हो रहा है तो मैं छोटा था तो बोरा लेके सबसे पहले बिछा लेता था। 12 बजे 12:30 बजे रात को नाचा चालू होता था। नाचा शुरू होने से पहले उस जगह पे जाके सो जाता था मैं। जब नाचा शुरू होता था तो फिर जगता था, देखता था। तो कहते इतना जुनून था नाच देखने का। आजकल जो है ये नाचा बहुत लुप्त होते जा रहा है। आजकल के जैसे नवयुवक को अगर कहो कि नाच देखने चलेंगे फलाने गांव में कुछ नाच हो रहा है तो बोलेगा यार हम कहाँ नाच देखने जाएंगे। टीवी में तो वो दबंग दे रहा है, कुछ दबंग देखेंगे, कुछ नाच देखने नहीं जाएंगे। आज कई नाचा ऐसा है कि देखने से लगता है कि पूरा फिल्मी स्टाइल आ गया है। कोई करीना कपूर बन के निकल रहा है, जोकर निकल रहा है, तो कोई शाहरुख खान स्टाइल में निकल रहा है। जो भी नाच वाला है मेरे से मैं उनसे यही रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा कि वो जो अपना पहले पुराना परफॉर्मेंस जो पहले देता था जो तरीक़ा से वही तरीक़ा से दे और वो अपना मतलब जो स्टाइल है उसको चेंज ना करे।
Omkar Das is a proud and popular member of the Naya Theatre, which was founded by veteran theatre personality Habib Tanveer. Today he is rehearsing for his role of Charandas Chor, and I am an apprentice under his training.
Charandas? एक आए?
चूना तंबाकू तो आए का अच्छा
लगता है?
हाँ कुछ नशा करते।
दिखाओ मौला। मौला रानी
नाम कलावती है।
Well, as you can see, Omkar ji is a genius and he has brought pride to the people of Chhattisgarh. He's gone as far as Bollywood with his art, with his talent and his craft. And it's just wonderful to be in the presence of such a talented man. Well, as you can see, I'm no match to him. But I'm under training and I'm in good hands. And I'll get there.
The melodious sounds of the tribal musical instruments of Bastar mesmerize, and you simply cannot resist swaying to the primal beat. Such art forms survive only because of the tireless efforts of people like Anup Ranjan Pandey, who has been working in this field for over 22 years. He is also the founder of the Bastar Band, which aims to protect the music and dance and musical instruments that are unique to each of Chhattisgarh's tribes.
ये लोक वाद्यों के संग्रह की तलाश में जब मैं बस्तर की तरफ निकला तो बस्तर में मैंने एक गाथा सुनी, लिंगोदेव की गाथा। उनकी गाथा के अंदर में 18 वाद्य यंत्रों का वर्णन मैंने सुना। जो विलुप्त हो गए उन वाद्यों की तलाश में भी जब निकला तो कई और वाद्य मुझे नज़र आए उसके अंदर में। 18 वाद्य से ज़्यादा नज़र आए, मतलब लगभग 40-45 वाद्य मुझे केवल बस्तर अंचल के अंदर के नज़र आए, तो मुझे लगा कि क्यों ना इन सारे वाद्यों को एक किया जाए। और उन सबको ये लग रहा है कि भाई धीरे धीरे इन वाद्यों को हमको बचाना चाहिए। अपनी पुरानी पारंपरिक चीज़ है जो हज़ारों साल से चली आ रही है, जिसकी कोई उम्र नहीं है, एजलेस इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स है। पहली बार ऐसा हुआ है कि बस्तर के सभी समुदाय के लोग, जिनकी अलग अलग बोली है, अलग अलग भाषा है, उन सारी चीज़ों को हम एक मंच पे एक साथ लाकर एक दूसरे के समन्वय के साथ एक स्वर उत्पन्न करते हैं, जो एक तरह से बस्तर का स्वर है, जो एक तरह से हमारे छत्तीसगढ़ की आवाज़ है, और जो एक तरह से आप कहें तो हिंदुस्तान का एक नाद है, भारत का एक संगीत है। ये है धनकुल वाद्य।
The dhankul is an ancient musical instrument made by putting together 5 things, including a huge pot, a bow, and a traditional cane winnow. Dhankul songs are meant for auspicious occasions, such as Tej and the harvest season.
इसका नाम क्या है?
इसका किरकिचा।
Kirkicha.
नाम।
That's a kirkicha in my hand.
There is such a sweet rhythm to the music and dance of Chhattisgarh that it seems to emanate from the very spirit of its wonderful people. People who are still touched by and tethered to the very essence of their land.
Chhattisgarh's folk art and culture has survived the onslaught of time. The passion of the people of Chhattisgarh and their resolve to preserve their culture looks like these folk arts are in no danger from the onslaught of time or neglect. There's still so much more to explore in Chhattisgarh, so join me next week. Until then,